wounds. Okay, so we have heard about this from a lot of people that give it some time, it will take some time, it will get better with time. Okay, so this is a very frequently used term, that time is going to heal all wounds. Okay, so initially when we hear somebody say this to us, it gives us a little hope. Okay, but whether this hope brings about a positive shift in our life, this only time will tell, right? So we say that time heals all wounds, but then still we don't know whether time is going to work in our favor or not. So that also only time will tell, correct? So often what we realize is that this phrase, that time can heal wounds, although initially it gives us hope, somewhere down the line we start realizing that it's only giving us more frustration, right? As the years are passing by, we hope to get better, but what happens is that we end up feeling very bitter. Okay, so this is what most of the people they experience, that we allowed time and we allowed enough time. So many months have passed, so many years have passed, but I still feel that pain. The pain has not gotten away. So generally people who say this to us, that give it some time, the intention behind they saying this is that eventually your pain will fade away. Okay, eventually you will learn how to soothe your pain. But is that true? Is that what happens, that eventually the pain fades away, or eventually we learn how to soothe the pain? Correct. Often what we realize is that as time passes, okay, we only need that one trigger, that slightest question or slightest provocation, and we come back to where we started off, right? That event, that pain, that sensation, okay, it all comes back. It just needs that slight trigger, and the person triggering you may not even be aware that you have been hurt in the past, or you have been carrying certain painful experiences. So they may not even be consciously aware that you have this wound, correct? So I remember that there was this athlete, and she had actually broken her arm. Okay, and somehow she was feeling a little embarrassed about it, embarrassed to say that yes, I have broken my arm. And so she used to actually she had given it a lot of time, but then still her arm was not getting restored. The pain was still there. So now she doesn't know how to face the reality. So what she does is that she starts wearing full sleeve t-shirts and full sleeve jackets, so that nobody realizes that underneath there is still that bandage and there is still that pain. Now what happens is that unknowingly one day her friend just grabs her by her arm and asks her that, hey, it's been a long time, how are you? And that is when she screams out of pain, right? So her pain point, that her friend touched that painful chord, and suddenly she is now responding from a place of pain. So if this is true, that time alone heals pain, okay, then the reaction doesn't come out of pain. Okay, so this is what we see, that if this is true, that only time can heal the pain, then why do we still feel the pain for something that has happened decades ago, months ago? But we still feel the pain. So deep down we all know the truth, that time alone does not heal pain. Okay, it takes much more than time. But then we also see that whenever we work with any professional, we may work with a coach, or we may work with any, say, physiotherapist. Okay, so in the course of our treatment, one of the things that they also tell us, that how long will I take to heal? How long will I, take to get over this disorder or this medical condition? So they also tell, it will take time. Give it some time. Waqt lagega, time do. So this is what even they say. So then we start feeling that this is a very big contradiction, because every professional says that give it time, but then we have given it time, we have given it enough time, but then with the passage of time, things are not getting better, right? Things are not getting better, and we only start feeling bitter. Okay, so this is how actually we start buying into this lie, that maybe I need to give some more time. Maybe the time that I have given is not enough, or it is not sufficiently enough. So now we want to give it some more time, and this is how we delay our healing process, okay, by having this belief in the first place that it takes time and it only takes time, okay. So if it is true that it only takes time, then we would not have been still stuck mentally, okay. So a lot of people, they are still stuck with some event which has happened, say maybe say in 2016, maybe in 2014. So time has passed and today we are in 2025. Today we are on 10th of May 2025, but they still know they remember very vividly. They can actually tell you what they were wearing on that day when this happened and that happened. And when they start remembering it, they feel the pain as if it has just happened yesterday, okay. So that memories have had such a lasting impact that they are still mentally stuck in maybe 2015 or 16 or whatever that painful memory, whichever year it was. It could be also with the childhood. But time has passed. Today we are in 2025. And if you're not living in 2025, if you're not living on the 10th of May, and we are still fixated on some event that happened a decade ago, we are still fixated on somebody who betrayed us, we have developed those beliefs, we are not able to move on, we are holding grudge, we are not able to forgive ourselves for something that we did a few years back, we are not able to forgive others who have caused us pain. So these are all indications that there is still unresolved pain, okay. So these are indications that you have not healed from your pain, and there's a very good chance that you have simply allowed time to do the work, and you have allowed time to do the magic work, and time has not done its work, okay. And why time has not done its work? Because you have not done the work, okay. So time, we have to use time more as a resource, okay. So time is like a resource, just like money is also a resource. So similarly, time is also a resource, okay. So when we use time, we start addressing our wounds. When we use time, that helps us to facilitate the growth. So time is not the cure and time is not the medicine. So time provides that space for you to look at, why did I get here? What just happened? Why did I have these emotions? Why did I react in this way? Correct? So often it happens that, say somebody takes us for granted, and then we end up meeting a lot of people, and we always have this feeling that, oh, you know what, everybody takes me for granted, or I'm at the receiving end of this behavior. And we don't know how to express it. So just like the example I was giving, that this girl, she wears full sleeve in order to hide her pain. So it's not just pain. Sometimes we become experts in hiding our anger, in hiding our sadness, correct? So with time, sometimes what happens, we learn very good management solutions, okay. We learn how to hide our pain, we learn how to mask our pain. So different people, they have different distractions. For somebody it could be Netflix, for somebody it could be food, for somebody it could be traveling. But then deep down we know that we are running away from something. So deep down we know that we are wanting to escape something. We are not willing to confront our wounds, correct? So then that is the question that you have to ask yourself, that are you using time as an excuse to avoid confronting your situation? Are you using time as a good enough excuse that maybe if I'm still feeling triggered, so I need to give some more time to this? Maybe it's only been so many months and it's only been so many years. The impact of the pain was so much, so I got to give some more time. So this is one way wherein we are not utilizing time, okay. So while time is not the cure, time provides us the space, okay. Time provides us the space, that emptiness, to reflect on why we felt the way we felt. So there is a saying that you cannot start healing what you're not feeling, okay. So if you start running away from what you're feeling, thinking that time is going to do the magic trick, it's not going to do the magic trick, okay. Because when these emotions come back, they come back in a very overwhelming way. So people who tell us that give it some time, time will heal all the wounds. So what they're essentially trying to say is that whatever initial reaction you had to this event or to this situation in your life, okay, which is causing you pain, that initial reaction is something very overwhelming. Maybe there was intense sadness, there was intense anger. And as time passes, that initial reaction won't be there and it will fade away. And sometimes we see that even if the initial reaction still does not subsist, it transforms in many other ways. Okay, we start developing blocks in receiving in our relationship. We start developing blocks in building healthy connections. So all these are good indicators that we are still in that space and we have not healed completely from our negative experiences, from the bitter experiences that we've had in life. So if we tend to generalize people, so say you were betrayed in your relationship and now you have developed a certain belief system about men, certain belief system about women, or about the way that relationships work, about the way that marriages function. So all this is a good indicator that time has passed, but you are still stuck there with your event, with your story. You have not outgrown from it, you have not evolved from it, you have not understood the lessons of it. Correct? So as much as you wait that okay, time will heal, and as long as you are in the waiting mode, that let time do its work and I am going to relax, okay, this is the easiest way to make more messed up decisions. Okay, this is the only way that you ensure that you end up making more messed up decisions and you end up attracting more people who will possibly treat you the same way. Because again, you have not invested time, you have not partnered with time, that yes, I will utilize this as an opportunity for self reflection, I will utilize this as an opportunity for my growth. Okay, so this is where the facility of time we have not utilized in our favor, and that is why we still feel the same emotional charge, we still feel the pain deep down even after so many years. Okay, and deep down we all know this truth, that and we all have this yearning that I want to feel normal again, I want to build healthy connections again, I want to experience fulfilling relationships again. So deep down we all have this desire, but then when we attempt, again these experiences show up, and then again we feel that no, I am not there yet, I still need to give it some time. Okay, so this is how this entire we get stuck in this loop. And the more that we are invested and the more that we buy this lie that give it some time, everybody takes time, the more you go on delaying your healing journey, the more you go on delaying a healthy life, healthy relationships, the more you delay attracting a healthy partner. So all of these things come as a result of not working using the time. Okay, so healing takes time, it also takes work. Okay, so unless we participate in the healing process, time alone does nothing much. So anybody has any questions before I just continue? Anything that anybody wants to specifically ask? Okay. Okay, if there's nothing, then we'll continue. So when we talk about healing, one of the things that we have to understand is that, so now we have established that time also takes work. Okay, and when we talk about our healing journey, one of the things we have to understand is that healing happens in stages. Okay, and different people have their own timelines of healing, and we have to honor every stage of healing. Okay, say for an example, somebody has broken their leg. Okay, there's a fracture. There is a certain bone repairing process wherein they have to go to the doctor, and first the inflammation is addressed, and then the leg may have to be kept in a bandage for a few weeks, and then if the recovery is not, say, very swift, then physiotherapy may be advised. Correct? So now, depending on how deep our wound is, depending on how many beliefs that we have accumulated regarding that wound, regarding that experience, so that would be the timeline of your healing. Okay, So say somebody, maybe was okay, with the bandage, and they may not require a physiotherapy. They are able to again, resume to normalcy with just the bandage. So they may not require it. But then again, healing happens in stages. We cannot jump to the process. So a person who has, broken their leg, and it's a very bad fracture, they cannot directly, transition and jump and say, I want physiotherapy. Correct? There is that organic stage where first the inflammation has to be addressed. So you just cannot skip and, go directly to physiotherapy. So similarly, when we are healing and we take time to heal, okay, first we have to understand the root of our patterns, the root cause of how we developed these patterns. It could be due to the conditioning that we received in our childhood. Say for an example, you have had very harsh feedback in your childhood, or you have been met with very harsh criticism amongst your peers, and there has always been comparison, and as a result of that you have developed low self-esteem. And then because of more experiences in life, if somebody has trust issues, correct, so all these things, they are, attributed, and you have to understand the root of this, that how did I get here, how did I develop these things, okay, and these things, they take time, okay, and this is the work. So when I say that healing requires time, and healing will, the time will work for you only if you put in the work. What is the work? This is the work. This is the work that you begin with understanding, how did I develop these patterns, what is the root cause of me feeling the way that I'm feeling, okay. And we always recommend that work with a professional to understand this, okay, because again, when you think that I'll do it myself, what you're doing is that again you are wasting time, correct. So does time heal wounds? Time does not heal wounds. And when you decide that I will sit with myself and do it, you will again find ways to distract yourself, you'll again find ways to escape from it, okay. So why we recommend that you work with the coach, that you work with a professional, is because you need somebody to show you the truth, okay. What truth? The truth about your situation, okay. Say for an example, somebody is always suffering with acidity, okay. Now they are always consuming antacids. So they think that maybe it's because of spicy food and I consume antacids, and that pain is gone, I'm not feeling that pain anymore. But then if it starts showing up more frequently, so then they understand that although I'm taking the medicine, this may not be the right medicine, or maybe something else has happened and I'm not able to self diagnose that why is the acidity showing up. And then when he actually works with a doctor, when he actually consults a doctor may tell him the deeper truth, that you have developed ulcers in your stomach, which is why the acid is actually, erupting in your food pipe and you're feeling this way, correct. So antacids, they only work like a band-aid. So when we say that, okay, let's cheer ourselves, give ourselves some time, let's go on a vacation, let's watch Netflix, or let's distract ourselves, what we're doing is we're using time as a band-aid, we're using time as an antacid, while the real emotional wound, it remains as it is, okay. We go on suppressing it until a day comes where we may face a meltdown, or it becomes so overwhelming that you may not be able to focus on the other areas of your life. Take it from me that most of the people who say that, okay, I will not focus on this, it's okay, if I just ignore it, it's all fine, it will start affecting the other areas of your life. May not be immediately, but yes, eventually, okay. So this is where we always say that, work with a professional, because they will give you a structure, they will make sure that you don't end up wasting more time, because with that structure you understand that yes, these are the steps that I have to take, and these are the root levels of my issues, the patterns that are showing up for me, and they will guide you through, steps which are designed, which are necessary in your case, okay. So this is where we always recommend that when you say I'll do it myself, again you're just allowing time to play its role, you're not putting in the work. There's a very good chance that you will not put in the work, okay. So this was about the fact that time alone is not the cure, time alone does not heal, okay. So Anu has asked how to identify the level of wounds. Correct. So Anu, when you okay, yes, I think Anamika has replied with a YouTube link. Anamika, this YouTube link is about something. Okay, okay, yes. So, like I said, Anu, that initially we respond with a very overwhelming reaction when we initially face something. Okay, and as time passes by, if we have healed in a healthy way, we learn how to respond to these changes in a much healthy way. Okay, we start observing our reactions. In fact, much before we want to react, we start observing the sensations in our body. So we build enough awareness that we are getting triggered, and once I get triggered, this is how I end up reacting. So that awareness we start building. Okay, but when we do not heal in a healthy way, with time what happens is that we just mask it. Maybe we adopt a very avoidance mechanism, that we if we know that in a place this topic will be spoken about, we will avoid that place. We will avoid this person who will ask us questions on this topic. So we will want to avoid, because we don't know how to face it, we don't know how to respond to it. Okay, so how do we understand which level we are in healing? We can understand from how are we responding to the different things associated with that event. Say it could be the people who have actually hurt you, or it could be that similar scenario which is showing up. So how differently are you responding today? Today also, do you end up responding in the same way? Today also, are you feeling the same overwhelming emotion? Today also, do you have the same beliefs? So that is how you will get your answer, that which level am I in healing. So is it that I still have anger towards this person? Is it that I have developed a lot of resentment? So you have to do some self reflection in understanding that where am I in my journey. Okay, and everybody's journey is going to look different. Say for somebody, when somebody takes them for granted, okay, they start feeling very angry about it, that how could somebody take me for granted, and anger is the place from which they respond. For somebody else, they may start actually feeling very dejected about it. Anger is not their emotion. So everybody tends to respond in different ways, but as we start healing, then we start to observe, we start to build awareness about how differently are we now responding to the same situation, and are we able to look at it differently. Okay, so just by hearing YouTube talks, and just by doing all of the positive things, like all of the positive things that people talk about, it could be yoga, it could be breath work, it could be all these things like practicing affirmations. All of these things, as standalone practices, they don't help us to heal. Okay, it's all these things like say I want to forgive this person, I want to let go of this, I want to move on from this. So we don't approach all these things as standalone practices. All this happens organically when you heal. You don't have to categorically say, okay, this person I will forgive, and this person I will let go, and this event I move on. When you start understanding the root of the unhealthy belief that you have developed, okay, so all these things happen very naturally as a process. So like we always say कि अगर आपको खीर खानी है तो पहले आप देख लो कि आप जो बोल में खीर खाना चाहते हो वो बाउल कितना साफ है. ठीक है, अगर गंदा बाउल है तो उसमें फिर आप खीर डाल के तो नहीं खाओगे. तो when you start realizing कि yes, I still have certain negative beliefs, so we now address that. We don't start practicing affirmations, and we start doing all these standalone practices, because first the emptying out and the cleansing has to happen before you actually start refilling yourself with positivity. So again, like I said, we have to pass through the stages of healing, and healing happens in stages. Okay, so we cannot bypass a stage and move to physiotherapy, similarly we cannot bypass a stage and move to, the positive side of it. We have to go through these stages. And even say somebody tries to jump the stages, life will trigger them enough to bring them back to show them where they are at. Okay, so this is where we have to honor the space, and that takes time. Okay, so in today's discussion, this is what we understand, that time is not the only cure. While this statement that does time heal wounds is partially true, because it also takes, when we say it is your time, so it also needs your participation, and it needs your work, it needs your efforts. Okay, because we're talking about your time, so therefore it will need your efforts as well. So I hope that it was a good discussion today, and I hope that you guys got an idea about this topic. Okay, so anything anybody would want to ask, you can just ask. Thanks, Anu, for the question. Thanks, Anamika. Thank you, Mani, for joining. Thank you so much. Okay, guys, so it was wonderful. This was my first Instagram live, and I'm happy that all of you came here and attended this session. So please stay in touch with the Instagram page of Anamify. So every Saturday we have talks on various topics to build understanding and awareness. So please join the live sessions. Thank you.